A quiet shift happens inside the body each day and almost nobody notices it. It is the moment your insulin rises just a little too high and your body quietly locks away fat instead of burning it. Most people never realize this. They try diets, workouts, supplements, but they miss the one signal that controls how quickly the body releases stored fat. Today, you will discover the insulin trick that almost no one talks about, yet it has the power to speed up weight loss far more effectively than most traditional methods. This video will take you deep into the hidden side of insulin, the part that does not get mentioned in basic health advice. You will learn how a tiny shift in your daily routine can lower your insulin response, prompting your body to switch into fat-burning mode much faster. You will discover why some people struggle for years with slow weight loss even when they eat less, and how this single factor might be the reason. You will hear how certain foods create far stronger insulin spikes than people expect, while others barely raise insulin at all. These details are not common knowledge, yet they make a huge difference in how your metabolism behaves. You will also learn why short periods of lowered insulin throughout the day can have a dramatic impact on fat loss, even without extreme dieting. The goal is not starvation. The goal is balance. When insulin falls to a lower stable level, your body finally unlocks stored fat and begins using it for fuel. This is the moment rapid transformation becomes possible. Throughout this video, you will uncover the science behind this shift, explained in simple terms so you can apply it immediately. You will learn about specific mistakes that raise insulin far more than people expect. These mistakes happen in breakfast foods, in snacks labeled as healthy, and even in beverages that seem harmless. You will learn how small changes in your routine can prevent these spikes and give your metabolism a cleaner, faster start. There are secrets inside your daily schedule that either help or block fat burning, and by the end of this video, you will know how to use each of them to your advantage. You will also discover a lesser-known timing method that allows your pancreas to rest and reset. Many people unknowingly keep their insulin levels raised from morning until night. They do not give their body the chance to lower insulin long enough for fat burning to activate. In this video, you will learn how to create natural low insulin intervals without stress, without extreme hunger, and without complicated rules. This is one of the biggest reasons some people lose weight faster than others, and it stays hidden because most people focus only on calories. Today, you will see the deeper layer that really drives fat loss speed. Stay with this video until the end, because that final section will reveal the exact steps you can follow starting today. You will learn a simple strategy that fits into any lifestyle. You will hear how to pair foods the right way so your insulin stays stable. You will learn how to structure your meals so your body remains in fat-burning mode for longer hours. You will discover ways to reduce cravings, boost energy, and break through plateaus that may have held you back for years. The last part of this video will tie all the pieces together into a routine you can begin right after watching. There is real science behind this insulin trick, and the results speak for themselves. The people who use it correctly often report faster changes in their waistline, steadier energy throughout the day, and better control over hunger. This is not hype. It is the biology of your body responding to signals that have always been there, just overlooked. Today, you finally take control of those signals. Welcome to our channel, where we break down powerful, science-based strategies for better health and faster fat loss. If you want more videos like this, make sure you subscribe right now. Your journey starts here. Insulin is a hormone that your body releases every time you eat, especially when your meal contains carbohydrates. It works like a messenger. When sugar enters your bloodstream, insulin steps in and guides that sugar into your cells where it can be used as fuel. This is one of the most important processes in the body because without insulin, your cells would not receive the energy they need to function. Every movement, every thought, every heartbeat depends on this simple transfer of glucose from your blood into your cells. But insulin does more than move sugar. It also plays a major role in deciding whether the body burns fat or stores it. When insulin rises even slightly, it sends a clear signal to your system: store energy, do not release stored fat. This is a protective mechanism. Your body treats high insulin as a sign that food is plentiful, so it saves extra fuel for later. The problem begins when insulin stays high for long periods of time. Many people do not realize how often this happens. Frequent meals, constant snacking, sugary drinks, processed foods, and even certain healthy choices can keep insulin elevated almost the entire day. When insulin remains high, your body becomes locked in fat storage mode. Even if you are eating fewer calories, your body does not burn stored fat efficiently because insulin is telling it not to. The fat inside your cells stays trapped, unused, and your metabolism slows down. Over time, your body may also become less sensitive to insulin, meaning it needs even more insulin to do the same job. This cycle leads to fatigue, cravings, slow fat loss, and resistance to nearly every diet. Understanding insulin's role is the first step toward unlocking faster weight loss. When insulin stays at a normal, steady level, your body has the chance to tap into stored fat and use it for energy. This shift changes everything about how your body burns fuel, how hungry you feel, and how quickly you see results. Insulin has a direct influence on how your body handles fat. And this is why it becomes such an important factor in weight loss. When insulin rises, even for a short period, your body receives a message to store energy rather than burn it. This means that the fat already inside your cells stays locked away, and new fat from your meals is more likely to be stored. When insulin stays high throughout the day, fat burning slows down to a crawl. Even people who eat less or try to exercise more often struggle because insulin is still sending the body the same signal: hold on to fat. The deeper issue begins when the body becomes less responsive to insulin. This problem is known as insulin resistance. When resistance develops, the normal amount of insulin is no longer enough to move sugar into the cells. The pancreas reacts by producing even more insulin, trying to force the process to work. This constant push leads to even higher insulin levels, and the cycle keeps repeating. Over time, this creates a hormonal environment that strongly favors fat storage. Many people experience stubborn belly fat, unpredictable hunger spikes, and low energy without realizing that insulin resistance is playing a major role. Studies on weight loss repeatedly show that strategies reducing insulin levels often lead to more effective fat loss. When insulin dips to a healthy range, the body finally gains access to stored fat and uses it as fuel. People often describe feeling lighter, more energetic, and more satisfied between meals when insulin becomes stable. In fact, many successful long-term weight loss stories share one thing in common: improved insulin sensitivity. When cells become more responsive to insulin again, the body does not need to produce as much of it. Lower insulin levels create a smoother pathway for fat burning, steadier energy, and better appetite control. This connection between insulin sensitivity and long-term weight control highlights why understanding this hormone matters so much. When insulin is balanced, the entire metabolism works in a smoother, more efficient way, making weight loss feel more natural and sustainable. The core idea behind the insulin trick is simple: lower the overall insulin load your body deals with each day. This does not mean extreme dieting or cutting out entire food groups. It means reducing the constant triggers that push insulin up and keeping your body in a state where insulin can naturally fall between meals. When insulin stays lower for longer periods, your body becomes far more willing to release stored fat and use it as energy. One of the most effective ways to reduce daily insulin demand is through carb management. Not all carbohydrates affect insulin the same way. High glycemic foods and refined sugars push insulin up quickly, forcing the body to respond with a strong hormonal surge. When these foods appear often in your diet, the pancreas works overtime and insulin remains elevated for long stretches. By lowering your intake of these fast sugars and choosing carbohydrates that digest more slowly, you create a smaller rise in insulin. This keeps your system more balanced and reduces the pressure on your metabolism. Another powerful part of the strategy is meal timing. Many people eat from early morning until late at night, meaning their insulin rarely has the chance to drop to a resting level. Giving your body longer insulin-free periods during the day allows it to switch into fat burning mode. This can be achieved by spacing meals farther apart or cutting out unnecessary snacks that constantly nudge insulin upward. Even small adjustments can create a noticeable difference. Choosing low insulin foods also helps. Certain carbohydrates lead to much lower insulin responses compared to others. Some natural sugars digest slowly and do not cause the sharp hormonal spikes seen with regular table sugar. Using foods with a lower insulin impact makes it easier to maintain stable energy levels and reduces cravings throughout the day. Strategic fasting or shorter fasting windows can also lower insulin in a natural, supportive way. When you go for a period without food, insulin gradually falls. This drop allows your body to tap into stored fat. The fasting does not need to be extreme or uncomfortable. Even modest fasting windows help your metabolism shift into a more efficient fat-burning state. This insulin trick works for most people because it targets a process that happens deep inside the body every single day. When insulin levels begin to stabilize, something important shifts. The body starts responding to insulin in a healthier way. This improvement in insulin sensitivity means that your cells accept and use sugar more efficiently. When the body requires less insulin to perform the same job, the pancreas does not have to release large bursts throughout the day. This simple shift reduces the hormonal pressure that keeps fat locked away. As insulin sensitivity rises, the entire system becomes smoother, calmer, and far more efficient. Lower insulin creates an environment where fat is no longer trapped. Instead, it becomes available as fuel. In this state, your body switches from storing energy to using it. Many people notice that when their insulin falls into a healthier range, they start feeling lighter and more energetic. Their hunger becomes more stable, and their crashes throughout the day decrease. The body naturally begins to tap into fat reserves, especially around the midsection, because there is no strong signal telling it to store everything. Even people who struggled for years on other diets often feel a noticeable difference once insulin levels drop, because the body finally receives the message that it is safe to burn fat. Weight loss approaches based on reducing the overall insulin burden have shown meaningful results across different groups of people. These methods do not rely on extreme calorie cuts or complicated restrictions. Instead, they change the hormonal environment so that fat loss becomes easier. When insulin stays lower, cravings often fade, appetite becomes more manageable, and energy levels rise. This combination naturally leads to better food choices and more consistent progress. Programs that focus on improving insulin control tend to produce smoother, steadier weight loss because they work with the body's natural biology rather than fighting against it. As insulin stabilizes, the path to fat loss becomes clearer and more achievable for most people. The insulin trick is powerful, but it is important to understand that it is not a magic solution on its own. Lowering insulin can create a better environment for fat burning, yet the body still depends on overall habits. What you eat, how much you move, how well you sleep, and how you manage stress all play a major role in how effectively your metabolism responds. When these factors work together, the results can be impressive. When they do not, progress may be slower. Even if insulin is controlled, the trick is a tool, not a shortcut, and it works best when paired with thoughtful food choices and a lifestyle that supports your health. Another important point is that people respond differently to changes in insulin. Some individuals notice rapid improvements while others see slower shifts. In certain studies, people with insulin resistance did not always lose more weight than others when they followed a calorie-restricted diet. This shows that insulin is a major factor, but not the only one. Genetics, age, stress levels, hormonal balance, and previous diet history can all influence how quickly the body reacts. Some people need more time for their insulin sensitivity to improve, and others may need to adjust their eating patterns to find what works best for them. A single strategy may not produce identical results for everyone, and this is completely normal. Whenever you work with insulin-related strategies, it is important to pay close attention to how your body feels. Notice your hunger patterns, energy changes, sleep quality, and mood shifts. These signs can reveal how your metabolism is responding. If you feel overly fatigued, dizzy, or uncomfortable, it may mean that your current routine needs adjustment. People who have medical conditions such as diabetes, metabolic disorders, or who take medication should always consult a healthcare professional before making significant changes to their eating schedule or carbohydrate intake. Even healthy individuals benefit from monitoring their responses closely, because small changes can sometimes have strong effects. The goal is to create balance, not stress the body. Putting the insulin trick into practice becomes much easier when you follow a clear plan. The first step is to understand your current eating habits. Take a few days to observe how many carbohydrates you eat and where they come from. Notice the meals or snacks that contain refined sugars, white flour, sweet drinks, or highly processed items. You do not need to count every gram, but a basic awareness of how often these foods show up gives you a strong starting point. This step reveals the patterns that may be pushing your insulin higher without you realizing it. The next step is to gradually replace high insulin foods with options that keep your blood sugar more stable. Instead of refined carbohydrates, choose whole foods that digest more slowly. Swap out sugary snacks for fruit, whole grains, or protein-rich items. Replace white bread or pasta with versions made from whole grains. Use healthier sweeteners only when needed, and keep portion sizes moderate. These shifts do not have to happen overnight. Slow and steady changes allow your body to adjust while still maintaining a balanced diet that feels satisfying and manageable. Once you have made progress with food choices, consider introducing a simple fasting window. If it aligns with your health needs, a 12 to 14-hour overnight window gives your insulin time to fall naturally and allows your body to tap into stored fat. This might look like finishing dinner a bit earlier or delaying breakfast slightly. The goal is to create a natural break between meals without forcing extreme hunger or discomfort. Many people find that this window becomes easier with time as their appetite becomes more stable. As you follow these steps, consistency becomes essential. The body responds best when it is given time to adapt. Pay attention to how your weight, appetite, and energy levels shift. After a few weeks, reassess your progress. Look at signs beyond the scale. Consider whether your sleep has improved, whether your energy lasts longer during the day, and whether cravings have reduced. These subtle changes can reveal how well your insulin strategy is working and guide your next adjustments. Many people run into problems when they try to lower their insulin levels without understanding the full picture. One of the most common mistakes is cutting carbohydrates too aggressively right from the beginning. When carbs drop too low too quickly, the body can react with fatigue, dizziness, irritability, or nutrient gaps. Carbohydrates are not the enemy. The issue is how fast they raise insulin. Removing them without proper planning often leads to cravings, overeating later in the day, or turning to processed foods as a quick fix. A sudden crash in energy can make people think the strategy is failing, when in reality, the approach was simply too abrupt for the body to handle. Another pitfall is using the insulin trick as an excuse to eat poorly in other areas. Some people lower carbs, but then rely heavily on fried foods, sugary snacks labeled as low carb, or excessive amounts of unhealthy fats. This creates more stress on the metabolism and can lead to weight gain rather than weight loss. The insulin trick is meant to support a healthier lifestyle, not replace it. When people focus only on insulin and ignore overall nutritional quality, the benefits become limited. Balanced meals with protein, fiber, healthy fats, and slow digesting carbohydrates support steady insulin levels far better than simply removing carbs and filling the gap with processed alternatives. A major source of overlooked trouble comes from ignoring other factors that influence insulin. Stress has a strong effect on insulin levels because stress hormones can push blood sugar higher, which triggers more insulin release. Poor sleep has a similar impact. When the body is sleep deprived, insulin sensitivity decreases and the body needs more insulin to do the same job. This makes fat loss much harder, even when diet changes are in place. Lack of movement also plays a role. When muscles stay inactive for long periods, insulin responsiveness drops, and the body becomes less efficient at handling glucose. Even small amounts of daily activity can improve this response dramatically. These issues show that lowering insulin is not just about food choices. It is about understanding how your entire lifestyle influences your hormones throughout the day. Across countless real-life experiences, people have discovered the impact of controlling insulin in ways that traditional diets often overlook. One common story comes from someone who struggled with stubborn weight around the midsection for years despite exercising regularly. After learning about insulin and its role in fat storage, they started tracking the foods that spiked their blood sugar and slowly replaced refined carbs with vegetables, whole grains, and protein-rich meals. Over time, not only did their waistline shrink, but their energy levels stabilized and late-night cravings began to fade. This change did not require extreme fasting or calorie counting. It came from understanding how the body responds hormonally to food. Another example comes from individuals who implemented modest fasting windows each day. One person began finishing dinner a few hours earlier and delaying breakfast slightly, creating a 12-hour window without food. Within weeks, they noticed they were burning fat more efficiently, their hunger patterns became predictable, and they no longer experienced sudden energy crashes mid-morning. The improvement in insulin sensitivity allowed their body to use stored fat for energy instead of holding onto it, producing consistent results over months. Their story demonstrates that even simple timing adjustments can make a significant difference without overcomplicating daily life. Many community reports share a similar pattern. People who had been labeled hard to lose weight discovered that small, practical changes, lowering refined carbohydrates, improving overall diet quality, and creating natural low insulin periods led to noticeable fat loss. Some reported that their previously resistant belly fat started to diminish, their sleep quality improved, and their overall motivation increased because the results were visible and sustainable. Others noticed improved control over blood sugar and felt less bloated, illustrating how these strategies affect not just weight, but overall well-being. These examples show that when insulin management is approached thoughtfully, it can transform daily routines and deliver meaningful outcomes. Small adjustments, consistent practice, and attention to food quality often create lasting changes that traditional dieting alone rarely achieves. Controlling insulin is not about starving yourself or following extreme diets. It is about making smart choices with the foods you eat and the timing of your meals. By paying attention to how insulin responds to what you consume, you give your body the opportunity to use stored fat for energy more efficiently. Small, consistent changes can lead to noticeable results over time, and the effects go beyond just weight loss. They improve energy, hunger control, and overall well-being. If you apply this trick, your body may begin burning fat more efficiently than ever before. The process works best when combined with a balanced approach, healthy foods, reasonable portion sizes, and natural periods where insulin can drop. Even modest adjustments in your daily routine can create significant changes in how your metabolism functions. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more science-based weight loss tips. Try this strategy for a month, track your progress, and share your results in the comments. Your experience could inspire others to make smarter choices and achieve their own fat loss goals. Always remember, before making major changes to your diet or eating patterns, it is important to consult with a health professional. Everyone's body responds differently, and expert guidance ensures you stay safe while optimizing your results. Start today, stay consistent, and watch how small changes in insulin management can transform the way your body burns fat.